Hey guys, how's it going? Vaibhav Sisinty here and welcome to the day 5. Today, my friends, is sadly the last day of the 5-day awesome LinkedIn workshop, ain't it? Now today we're going to talk about playing the outbound game. You can look at that, it's not outbound, it's outbound game. That's how I call it, outbound, right? So, what are we going to talk about on this day 5? We have done quite a few things if you think about it from day 1 to day 4. That we understood your target audience, we personalized and optimized your profiles, we understood who to connect with and where to find them, and also build content. But there was one huge thing that wasn't covered yet. That was about how do you reach out to people. It could be clients, it could be potential leads, it could be for partnerships, whatever that is. How could you potentially reach out to people? How can you close people with the outbound approach? That wasn't discussed, and that's exactly why I picked up day 5, because this is probably one of the most complex topics of all the days, and this would need a lot of tests and trials. Let me quickly make my screen bigger. My hair looks super messy, but that's okay, right? This is one of the things that needs a lot of time and experimentation, my friends, because it is going to be very, very different based on your business, based on your target audience, based on who your potential customer is. If it's a big enterprise brand, the approach has to be different. If it's a smaller startup, SaaS companies, your style and your approach will be different. But what I'm gonna do right now, I've spent some time to analyze and understand what would be the easiest way to break it down in the next 20 minutes. What would be the easiest way for you guys to understand the outbound game the right way. All right, so build something out for you guys, and I'm going to show you tons of examples, and I am going to share a few frameworks that I use with my clients, and these clients I charge like $4,000 a month, $3,000 a month. Usually my usual price is $8,000 for 3 months. But yeah, I'm gonna share those strategies as well, those frameworks as well with you people. All right. Now, with that being said, also I just noticed I should shoot more videos during the daylight. It looks pretty nice. It looks like I'm in some other country. Anyways, the day 5, let's talk about the outbound or the outbound game. All right, what the hell is outbound? Let me quickly make this smaller. I'm disgusting myself with my non-sleepy face. All right, what the hell is outbound? So far we've understood, we have done everything possible to create content, to build a network in a way that people reach us out, people send us a connection request, things like that. But outbound is we sending people out a message, we sending people out a request with the right connection message, with a follow-up message, trying to close them on messages and get them to a call or whatever your call to action is. That's what outbound is, you reaching them out rather than they reaching you. That's outbound. And trust me, a lot of people think outbound is the only way, while I've already proven to you with one piece of content to a lot of people that inbound can be super duper effective as well. Alright, but for this class we're going to talk about outbound, and again, like I said, there is no one approach that fits all the business out there, but the framework is still going to be the same. Alright. Now, a lot of you guys might question, and I'm sure a lot of you would end up asking the same question again. Isn't LinkedIn outbound strategy spammy AF, right? Personally, I hate getting messages which are sales messages talking about, hey, this is the product that we have, can you buy it? These are the products that you have, do you want to check it out? Like, people have been spamming the shit out of LinkedIn by sending random very, very bad messages to sell their products. All right, but you know what, there's a right way of doing this also. I've helped more than, like, I don't know what, 15 odd clients so far, and they've generated some very good amount of money in like thousands of dollars using LinkedIn outbound strategies, but they are done in a very, very different way, and those are the kind of strategies that I'm going to run you guys through. So every outbound strategy is not made the same, and every outbound strategy is probably not as spammy or probably isn't spammy at all. All right. Now, this is the message. Can any of you guys identify what this message is? I'd like to add you to my professional network. It is one of the biggest mistakes you will ever make. Period. This is one of the biggest mistakes that you'll ever make. The reason is, it is so cliche, it is so common, and it is so unpersonalized that if I get a message like this, I reject the person 100% sure. If I get a message, if I get a connection with this message, for a few connections, I at least leave them and I don't accept them. But if I get a connection like this, it pisses the shit out of me and I delete that connection because it is very, very bad. I know this is a custom message that LinkedIn gives you, but that doesn't mean that you'd be sending this to everybody. Alright, put some effort. Alright, but you know what? Just because I'm saying that doesn't mean that I've done it right every time. Look at this. This used to be my connection message at a point of time when I just started up using LinkedIn. It's actually a real screenshot. I say, I'm Vaibhav, I work as a marketing manager at Uber and a growth consultant. I run something called the School Hacks of the Day, which I used to run back in the day, where I share simple growth hacks. Just say hi here. Basically what I was trying to do is I was trying to build a messenger bot base, and I thought this would be a great strategy by sending out connection requests as this. And guess what? People did accept, probably looking at the Uber and the marketing manager, but no one replied. No one replied. There are very, very few clicks on that link that you can see there. And the reason is I sent a sales message in the first step. This was something that asked for their action in the first step. When a message like this goes out, it gets rejected most of the time because it makes sense, right? It has to get rejected. So I'm shamelessly showing up my old messages, but then what I'm trying to say is don't make these mistakes. Alright, so let's quickly jump into the 3 important factors of outbound LinkedIn marketing. Okay, number 1 and the most important one is personalization. Personalization, my friends, is the most important factor, period. I mean, there's nothing more important in terms of acceptance or anything like that other than a personalization. The other thing that you need to know is money is in the follow-up. 95 to 96% of people who send a message on LinkedIn never follow up, and that's where you lose the game. Alright, number 3, multi-touch point. A user needs to notice, your potential client needs to notice you multiple times before he has the trust and has the citation flow to reply to you. And I've said this multiple times in this class because it is that important. It actually is very, very important. That's how human behavior works. You know, the science-based number says you need at least 7 touch points before a person makes a sale from you. In fact, the 7 would probably be like 17 these days, right? With the amount of marketing that we have. So it is very, 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 very important that we have a multi-touch point strategy, not a single touch point strategy. If you guys have no freaking idea what I'm talking about here, don't worry. I'm going to jump into each of these topics and I'm going to run you guys through what I exactly mean. Alright, the first one, personalization. Personalization is the only thing that can increase your acceptance rate, period. Let's say you're sending an invite and you're sending something like, I'd like to get in touch with your professional network, or if you say something cliche like, hey, I found your profile interesting, so send you a request. Those things don't work. They don't. They obviously don't, because someone who is at least keen of understanding what kind of network is trying to build would never accept anything like that. And if you're trying to hit up people like business owners and things like that, they obviously know you're going to hit them with the sales because of how bad the connection message is, and I don't want to get in touch with people like you. So don't be that guy, okay? Try to personalize. Now I kept talking about personalization. What the hell do I mean by that? Right? A request personalization. What can you add in a request to make it super personalized? Something in common. That is a great start. That is a very, very great start. For example, let's say you're connecting with marketers, right? Other marketers. Instead of saying, hey, I found that you're a marketer too, I would love to get in touch with you. Instead, you could say, I see a lot of content that you create, which is around Facebook ads, and I'm a digital marketer too. I would love to connect and touch base sometime with you. That is a good personalized connection message. Instead of saying marketer, you're talking about Facebook ads, you're talking about content, you're talking about quite a few things in there, right? In the same way, let's say you're talking about, let's say you're B2B business and trying to reach out to a potential client. Then you could, let's say you've somehow figured out to, find who he is using tools like BuiltWith or like LeadFuse or whatever it is, high-end B2B tools, alright, or Albatross for that matter. Now that you know which technology they're using, you could basically say, hey, I figured that you're using, let's say, Albatross for that matter, right? You're using Albacross as a tool. I would love to get in touch with you because I've found a very, very good, interesting alternative. Or I use Albacross too. I would love to share some notes with you. That is called personalization, and you can't go wrong the moment you personalize your invites, your acceptance rate has a good chance might possibly double. Right now, if you have an acceptance rate of 10%, 15%, 20%, that basically means you're doing it wrong, my friends. If you don't have anything to personalize, just don't put a connection on, just send an invite. I've told you this multiple times again. If you just send an invite, there's probably a slightly higher chance of the person accepting it. But if you are sending something nonsensical, like I'd like to add to your network, no, not gonna work, my friend. Alright, the second one, where you found them. This is brilliant and I always use them. If I found them in a Facebook group, I talk about the Facebook group. Usually I do a lot of scraping, so that works, that helps. If I found them, let's say you meet a bunch of people in an event, in a network event outside, or in a marketing conference, or whatever it is, add those elements in there on how you got to know about them. If there's an outside reference beyond you finding them on the LinkedIn feed, that's a great thing to talk about. And number three, if you have nothing, if you have no idea how to send an invite, probably one of the easiest way to do it is go check their content out, and basis of their content write something, or see something in their profile and write something, right? So that's probably is one other very, very easy way to get in touch with someone and personalize your request. Alright, I hope that makes sense. But guys, request personalization is super important, because if someone is not accepting you, there is no way that you can sell them anymore. Almost, they could see your content and still end up buying something, but there's a very, very less chance that they will end up buying anything from you, because they won't notice you. Alright, so it's very, very important. Now, here's a message that I used to send for my own profile, though I can't share my client stuff, but I can share my own stuff. So here is a message. Hey Zach, I really wanted to connect. As such, I've decided not to send you a generic LinkedIn invite because I wanted to be funny. Hello, and it works because I'm not running an enterprise business. I'm a startup guy, right? By the way, I found your profile URL in the BAMP Facebook group. I hope to see you on the other side. Vaibhav Sisinty, Sisinty.com. Simple as that. Alright, you see how I entered the website as well. A lot of times when they see a clicky link, they end up clicking on that, and I would love for them to check out my website. So why not? It's in your signature. It's not on the face. It doesn't say check out my website. It's just in the signature. It works. Alright, so like you see here, right? I mean, it's informal, it's casual, it conveys what it is. It means that I have personalized the invite. It feels like I'm talking to him directly, and it works. When I was sending this out, it had like acceptance of 65 to 70%, probably more if I don't remember right, but it was insane. It was one of the highest converting invite script that I have. Now don't end up using this script, for God's sake. All right, come up with something of your own. Now, money is in the follow-up, my friends. A lot of times what we do is we send an invite. In a lot of cases, the invite in itself has the sales message, or the moment someone accepts, we send a thank you and say, hey, here is my product, would you like to buy? And what would that happen? And people will be like, what the hell? This is why I accepted this person for, so that I can get sold? Guys, you don't propose a girl the first time you meet. You spend some time with her, you make her feel happy, you make her trust you, and then you propose, irrespective of guys proposing girl or a girl proposing guy. I'm not generalizing, by the way. I'm not a sexist, right? But you get my point, right? So money is in the follow-up. Follow-ups will nurture customers, all right? So here's a quick example of a follow-up message that I used to use the moment someone used to accept me. Again, I play a very casual game because I'm trying to just build my personal brand and trying to get in touch with people who might be interested in my growth hacking services, right? So Mitwet, Mutiet, whatever his name was or her name was, I really appreciated connecting with me. I wanted to share quick 3 fun things about me to get started with. I always hated tattoos, but I got one done because my ex-GF was getting it the next day. I started up when I was 19. I was done with my college loan before I finished my final year of education. I ran an award-winning agency. The reason why I spoke about the loan is in US, loans, student education loans are a big thing, so I appreciate that. Number 3 is I work full time with Uber as a marketing manager and work on side hustles, currently building some courses on growth. Would love to know what you are up to. Alright, here I've given 3 simple things that they can know me. Here the idea is for them to reply. The moment they reply, we can quickly start a conversation and get to the fact where we want. We don't sell in the first few messages. We get to know the person. So the idea is to reply. When I say something like this, when I tell them 3 things, they kind of are abided to tell me back what they're up to or what are the few interesting things about them, and that's a very nice way to start a quick conversation. Alright, so this actually worked very well for me because it got me a couple of clients in a month's time. Alright, and these clients, and I was doing like what, not even a month's time actually, about 10 days, and after that I had to stop it because I didn't have the time to reply to messages. I got a ton of replies for this, my friends, a ton of them, trust me on this, and I was scaling like 70-80 invites, about 100 invites a day, so it was insane. Alright, but you get the point. This is the first follow-up message. If they don't reply, you send one more follow-up messaging saying, hey, I dropped a couple of fun things. I would really appreciate you take a quick time out because I would really like to get to know you. Or I think that's too strong on the face, but I can drop something like, hey, I'm not sure if you got a chance to check my message. What's up? All good at your end? Because the corona situation, I absolutely get it. I hope everything is good at your end. Now again, when he sees this, very kind of like, oh shit, he's asking about health, the corona situation is around the part, so probably I would say, hey man, all well, probably I'm a little busy. At least I get a reply, it's closure, more important than no reply, right? So, that's what I mean by follow up. You wait for 4 days, 5 days, 7 days, whatever the period is, and then hit them up again, alright? And finally, you can actually get a little creative. LinkedIn has a few options. You can send voice notes, you can send images, and you can send videos. In fact, I have had a client who like he had like 250 people, okay? He wanted to reach out to all these 250 people. So what I made him do is create a picture with a placard like this, okay? And then I got an editor to edit these images with their names, client names in them. And the moment someone accepted, the placard used to say, thanks Rob for accepting my proposal, for accepting my invite. Fuck, that did so well, man. It got a ton of people replying to it. But again, this cannot be scaled easily. That's the problem. For something like this, you need to be like laser focused. When you have very limited clients, it works great. But if you have like thousands and thousands of people, you can't automate it yet. If you were able to automate it, then it would be great, but right now you can't automate it yet. But you have to get creative and you have to do different stuff. For example, Seen Ellis, the founder of Growth Hackers, like he's the guy who coined the word growth hackers. If you guys don't know, growth hacking is a word coined by him. So what I did here was, instead of sending a generic message, right, it was like what, 2 in the like early morning, 7 in the night. I hadn't slept all night, just like I haven't slept today shooting this video for you guys. But I thought I would just get in touch with him, and I quickly opened my phone, shot a video in the way I looked sick, you can look at me, weird beard and everything, and then I just sent him. That's it. No message, nothing, because he was already connected. That's a different story. But I sent him a message, right? And then he didn't reply. So what I did, a day later, I dropped a message. Hey, I wanted to check if you had a chance to see the video. Now, the moment I put that, it's like, oh shit, this guy recorded a video for me? I should check it out and see that this was a big deal, right? So he said he couldn't make it, he got on a call, and then, he said he assigned a big new project, he couldn't make it. Basically, I didn't get what I want, but at least that guy replied. I made him reply, and this guy is a big deal, like I said, right? But it doesn't work sometimes, but it does work most of the times. For example, Shraddha Sharma, who's the founder and CEO of Your Story, right? I did the same. Hey Shraddha, dropped the video. Same day, I dropped it to 5 people. 3 people replied. 5 people. I dropped it to 5 people. 1 person didn't reply. 4 people replied, and 2 of them agreed to be on the podcast that I was planning to make. Alright, which never happened because of bad internet, and then the workshop thing happened. But I hope I do it later. So I did the same. Dropped the video and did a follow up as well. Right? Hey Shraddha, wanted to check if you got a chance to see the video. Same thing. She said, sure, Vaibhav would love to explore. She basically said, yes, she gave her PA contact, and we are on touch on emails. It's as simple as that, right? It works, guys. When you try to be a little different, right? The reason why I dropped the video instead of a very quirky message is you have to stand out. These people get a ton of messages. The moment you send a personalized video, it works. In fact, this could be much better if I hold an image and say, hey, Shraddha, while shooting the video, when I start the video, it says, it has a placard or a paper which says, hey Shraddha, get it done, and then I say, hey Shraddha, it works much better because the preview image will have that image with her name on it. So these little small quirky things actually leads to insane, conversion rates in terms of replying or acceptance and things like that. So do these small elements, they actually work very well. All right. Now, we spoke about personalization. We spoke about the follow-ups, and the third thing that I'm going to talk about is touch points, that is multi-touch points. What do I mean by multi-touch points? Multi-touch point is basically the same customer, the same target audience, seeing you or noticing you again and again and again, so that he kind of knows you by the time you're talking to him. That's what multi-touch point is. For this, I'm going to quickly jump into this mind mapping tool so that I can, explain you guys in a much better way. So this is what basically happens with most of the so-called LinkedIn experts who send out sales copies. And every classic sales agency or a company which has a sales team on LinkedIn is doing this, which is utter nonsense. Okay, you send an invite, no note, or probably a very generic one saying, hey, we found your profile interesting, or we see that you're in marketing, or some nonsense like that, and then you expect for the person to connect. If the person connects, the moment you connect, you drop a pitch. Isn't this the classic cliche? Isn't this the process that you thought what LinkedIn outbound marketing was? Well, this, my friends, doesn't work. We are not in 1890 anymore. We are in 2020, approaching 2021, right? This shit doesn't work anymore. Why? Because it is too salesy. It's salesy as F, right? You send an invite. The moment he connects, you're sending him a pitch. Why did he invite? Why did he add you? To go through your pitch? Are you kidding me? It doesn't work, all right? Now, what is the easiest and probably the most simplest form of right strategy? That is this. You invite with a personalized note, okay? You basically invite with a personalized note, and then you expect the person to connect, because with a personalized note, like I told you, the acceptance rate at least doubles, right? The moment they connect, upon acceptance, you send a thank you message, like the message that I saw. No salesy, nothing, a thank you message, okay? And then if the person replies the moment he connects, you try to get him on a call. What do I mean by this? Do you send him a call, link to a call? No. What I mean is start the conversation and slowly get to the point where you could get onto the call. Because the moment you speak, right, you start talking about, hey, what do you do? Oh, that's great. And then the person is obliged to ask you, what do you do, by the way? I checked your Instagram profile or LinkedIn profile or whatever, but what do you do? The moment you ask that, now is your chance to talk about what you do. Not pitch again. You just say what you do. And then you ask, by the way, how, for example, digital marketing, let's say, all right, and you found a real estate client and you are trying to close this real estate guy. So what you do is you send him a message. Again, same invite with a personalized note saying, hey, I see that you guys are doing phenomenal job and blah, 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 whatever the custom personalized note is. The moment they connect, you say, thank you so much for connecting. I really, really appreciate that. And then you kind of ask a question. You always end with a question. That is when it triggers a reply. Or else if you don't, if you tell, thank you so much for connecting, then it's over. You're ending the conversation right there. So you always end with a question so that you make the person obliged to reply you. And the moment you reply, you start talking about things, right? Let's say you start talking about, oh, so how are you guys selling these properties? Like, how are you selling your apartments? Then the guys will be like, oh, we have a huge fleet of, sales reps who go and sell out things. I was like, oh, by the way, but who is generating you leads? Then they say, oh, but we buy out, like tons of phone numbers, and you start calling them. Why aren't you using something like Facebook ads? Then the guys like, Facebook ads don't work, man. I mean, we don't do all that. They're expensive, I'm sure, because they look so nice and all. That's when the pitch starts. You get my point, right? So you make the customer make you ask to make the pitch rather than you make the pitch. So what happens there? Thank you message. Again, the same thing. If no reply, you send a follow-up. If the person replies, that's great. You keep talking. And then you can have up to 6 or 7 follow-ups. I've had sequences up to 7 follow-ups, which goes on for 2 months. So if the person is not replying, I keep following up. But these are again important because these clients have limited number of prospects and they need to close those prospects to make money. So we have to do almost everything that we possibly can to get most out of the existing prospects. You do as many follow-ups as you can, and that is when you end. All right, if you think this is too much and the guy is not responding, it's okay, you stop there. That's absolutely fine. All right. Now, if you want to put things on steroids, and this is like the exact mechanism that I follow for my clients, then my friends, this works great. Okay, the first thing that you do is, again, invite with a personalized note, and the moment the person connects, upon acceptance, you send a thank you message. I'm considering I'm going to go through this flow as if they're not replying till the end. Okay, but anywhere if they respond, you know what we are doing. We are going to talk to them and try to get them on a call or whatever, close them. Basically, that's what I mean to say. A thank you message, and you wait for them if they reply or not. If they reply, it's great. If not, what you do is engage with his content or with their content. Go like and comment their content pieces. Okay, in fact, what I also do is, before I send them an invite also, I sometimes also like engage with their content for a day or two and then send them an invite. That also increases the chances of the person accepting you. All right, and also gives you reason on what you could potentially put on that invite. All right, now engage with this content. Once you engage with this content, then you do a follow-up. The reason why we do this is, it's again multi-touch point. The guy is noticing you when he's connecting. The guy has probably noticed your thank you message as well, and then you're making the guy notice you with his by engaging with his content again. You probably have done engagement before as well, so it's already 4 touch points right here. And then you send one more follow-up. If the person is not replying, you endorse his 3 skills. Now, the moment you endorse his 3 skills, you come on his notification tab. Now this is like using your biggest weapon, because I love endorsing people. The reason is, the moment you endorse, it goes into the notification tab that Vaibhav Sisinty endorsed you for these 3 skills. There is a very, very high chance when they clicks on anything, it opens up a tab which basically says say thanks. The moment it does that, right, it opens up the message box and the person is sending a reply. So it's kind of again obliged to send me a reply to the messages that I've been sending like a monster. All right, and the moment I endorse my top 3 skills, if the person doesn't reply again for a couple of days, I send him a follow-up, and then the usual follow-up sequence triggers. Right, what we are doing is this, my friends, is a 6 to 7 step touch point sequence. And the beauty is, all of this could be automated, but that is, you just send the URLs and the rest of the process can be automated. But it's a very, very complex process which I teach in my high-end courses, but you get the idea, right? If you want to do a multi-touch point sequence, there is nothing better than something like this. You're leveraging every tool of LinkedIn to do this. In fact, the few touch points which are not visible here, that is you visiting their profile. The moment you visit their profile as well, it comes into that box of recently visited people. So that also will act on your favor. All right. So let me quickly run you guys through this again. You invite, and the moment he connects, upon acceptance, you send a thank you message. If he doesn't respond to the thank you message, you engage with his content by commenting. All right, and then you expect if he replies. If he's still not replying, you send a follow-up message and wait for a couple of days. If he still isn't replying, then you endorse his 3 skills. Right, and now he gets a notification, and by now he has probably noticed you for sure, since you have done so much already for him. And then if he still doesn't reply, you drop a follow-up. If he still doesn't reply, you can drop one more follow-up by engaging new content as well. You can cycle it the way you want. You can build the funnel as long as you want, right? But the beauty is this, my friends, will get you insane kind of results, because the number of touch points involved in this is crazy. In fact, there are more advanced frameworks that I have used. That is, the moment someone I invite, if the person doesn't accept, what happens? What I do is, for people who don't accept, I start finding their email IDs using the email automation tool, which I'm going to share in the webinar any which ways, on how you can find email IDs of people. And then with those email IDs, I eventually build a Facebook custom audience, as well as I use those email IDs to start sending cold emails. That is, if you don't accept me on LinkedIn, that is okay. I'm going to hit you up somewhere else. That's basically the strategy. And you can actually do both as well. That is, you can connect with those people on LinkedIn as well, and basically find everybody's email and send emails to everyone as well, and build a custom audience with everyone as well. There is no hard and fast rule. You can play it the way you want. But again, if you want to do this manually, it is almost impossible to do it, because it will be super hard to keep in track, and you would need 2 or 3 people doing this with VAs. That is exactly why I automate this. If you're trying to do this, you can do this manually. it's still a little bit of work, but you can still do it manually by basically, building a simple Google sheet and keeping track of every client. You have a client and then you have tick boxes. Have you invited him? Yes. Have the person connected? Yes. Has he acceptance upon acceptance? Have you sent you the thank you message? Yes. And did he reply? Niche ek rahega. You have one more block down, right? You keep ticking so that you know where you are with each of the customer when you're doing it manually. Again, these processes are very hard to scale if you're trying to do it for hundreds of people on a daily basis, because it compounds, right? Today there are 100. Tomorrow there will be 100 plus 100. Day after tomorrow there will be 300. Next day there will be 400. Next day there will be 500. It depends on how long your sequence is. That is when the sequence expires. So it will become very complex in no time. Hence the power of automation. But being said that, we're going to talk about automation in our webinar, so make sure you don't miss the mega webinar. It's going to be dope. All right, guys, that's more about it. We went through quite a few interesting things today. That is, how can you build an outbound strategy? What are the things that you should know when you're building an outbound strategy? And the kind of frameworks that you can use for outbound strategy. I hope you find this powerful, my friends. I hope you do find this powerful. All right, now task time. It's going to be a very simple task, because I know for a fact a lot of you guys might be working on creating one more piece of content as well. So the task time, and the task is very simple. Create 3 custom connection notes. I want you guys to create 3 different custom connection notes. Google, look for a lot of scripts online. There are tons of scripts which are really good. So Google, understand who your target audience is and build at least 2 or 3 custom scripts and 1 follow-up message, right? Build this content structure and put it in the comment box. I would love to check it out, what you have written based on your target audience. Say who your target audience is and put your custom connection request and your follow-up messages in the comment box. All right, guys, that's more about it. Now, being frank, make sure I've sent you a calendar invite already, and I'll drop a text as well. Make sure you attend the mega webinar. You can't afford to lose it. I'm going to give out so much information on that webinar that is going to blow your mind. It's going to be worth probably like 5,000 rupees only, that webinar. All right, I'm going to give out so much info, so make sure you attend, and we are going to do a bunch of fun stuff in that webinar. All right, I will see you in the final webinar, guys. Thanks, guys. See you around.